Great, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to, this is our final webinar for the Spring 2021 orientation. So we're very excited to be here presenting this information to you. This is really important information. We're going to be talking about some ways that you can make sure that you're staying safe and staying healthy on campus. And we have two guest presenters today, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a bit. But for now, we're going to start with a presentation from our Department of Public Safety, and I will turn it over to Officer Jesse Buchanan to get started.
Thank you, Danica. Hello, everybody. I appreciate you letting me be here and spending a minute with you. As Danica said, my name is Jesse Buchanan. I'm a police officer here at the University of Utah. And kind of my goal today is just to take a few minutes and introduce the police department or the Department of Public Safety and kind of explain what we do and how we do it. And then give you information on some resources that we have and that we make available to you to help keep you safe. So the University of Utah has its own police department, of which I'm a part. We have approximately 40 sworn police officers. Those are men and women that have law enforcement powers in the state of Utah, and we handle and address any criminal activity or safety activity or anything that our campus community needs. As you may know, the University of Utah has 3 major hospitals on campus, and we have hospital security officers that work there that work with the police department to keep people safe at the hospital and to help out in any way possible. Also on campus, we have approximately 20 campus security officers. They're not police officers, they don't carry guns and badges, but they dress in uniforms that say security, they drive vehicles that say security. They're very, very good at what they do. And these are men and women that their main goal, like mine, is to keep the campus community safe and to help out in any way that you may need. Also, we have dispatchers. So a dispatcher, forgive me if you already know, is a man or woman who answers telephones when people call for help. So if you were to call the phone number, which I'll give you in a minute, to ask for a police officer, there would be a man or a woman here on campus that would answer that phone, and they would speak with you to determine what it is you need and to send the appropriate help. They're right here on campus, so they're very familiar with campus and they know the campus community well. We also have emergency managers, and these are men who make plans for or try to strategize for any disaster or emergency that may happen on campus. Our police department is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So anytime you need help, there are police officers and other members of the campus community to keep you safe. I want to give you a couple telephone numbers, and I know you can look it up on the internet. So if you forget or you don't write it down, you can always look it up. But if someone needs a police officer or the fire department or needs medical help, you can call 911. You can call from a cellular telephone or from a landline. Again, that number will be answered by a man or woman right here on campus. They'll speak with you and determine what you need, and they'll send the appropriate help. If you just have a question for the police, or you maybe lost something and it's not an emergency, you can always call our non-emergency number, and that's on the screen. It's 801-585-2677. And again, if you forget that number, you can always look it up on the internet. It's pretty easy to find. But it would be a good idea to put it in your telephone now, so that way you'll always have it if you ever need it. Also on campus, we have what's called emergency phones, and there's a small picture of it on my screen. An emergency phone is kind of a large statue. They're usually black with a blue light on top, and they have a big red button. And they have these strategically placed all over campus. So if you're walking on campus or you're near an emergency phone and you have a problem or an issue or somebody needs help, you can always push that red button and it will call a dispatcher, and you can speak with him or her and they can see what you need and send appropriate resources. Also, there are a few things that there's several things, but listed are a few things that we can do for you on campus also. If some of you have a vehicle or a car, and you lock your keys inside your car, we can help you get those keys out. If the battery in your car has died and it won't start, we can help you with that as well. And all of these things are free to you as students or staff of the University of Utah. This is a function that our university security provide, and they're very good at what they do, and they're very happy to help. So again, if you ever need help with regards to any of these things, you would call the same number, the 801-585-2677. You can also look up more information on our website. The address is listed on my screen here. It's dps.utah.edu. So I just want to spend just a minute talking to you about crime on campus and staying safe. So I like to ask people what crime they think is the biggest crime that we deal with on campus. And most of the time they're right. Most people will say theft is the biggest crime that we deal with, and that's true. Theft is a problem because it's very easy. If somebody leaves something sitting around or on a table, somebody will pick it up and they'll take it, and that's a theft. So I encourage you to continue the practices that you already know. Everybody has a cell phone nowadays. Most people have some type of computer, whether it's a laptop computer or a tablet. People have a backpack. We have wallets. We all have things that are important to us and valuable to us. I would encourage you to remember the things that you've been taught your whole life. If it's important to you, then treat it like it is important. For example, if you're studying in the library and you need to go get a cup of coffee or to use the restroom, take your computer with you or take your backpack with you, unless you have a trusted friend that's watching it. Don't leave things lying around, because chances are when you come back, it might not still be there. But if you do happen to get something stolen, somebody has taken something from you, you can always call the University of Utah Police Department, and we will do everything we can to help get your property back. Sometimes we can and sometimes we can't, but we will work very, very hard to keep you safe. Also, if any of you do have a vehicle, please don't leave a backpack or a computer sitting in your vehicle, because somebody might break your window and try to take your property. Remember, if you're in dormitories or apartments, keep your doors locked at all times. Don't leave your doors open for a roommate or a friend, because sometimes somebody might come in your room that doesn't belong there. If you see suspicious activity on campus, if somebody looks strange or is acting strangely, please call 911 and a police officer will come and we will make sure that everything is safe. Also, if you have a bicycle, I encourage having bicycles. This is an absolute beautiful campus. There are lots of bike-friendly trails and sidewalks and paths. I would encourage you to ride bicycles any chance you can. If you do get a bicycle, I would spend a little bit of money. Usually they're less than $30 or $40 to get a very good bicycle lock. There's a picture on the screen of a similar lock, what I'm speaking about. They're metal, they're thick, they're shaped like a U, and they will keep your bicycle safe. Often I see people lock up bicycles with a very thin cable lock. Those locks can easily be cut and your bicycle can be stolen. So again, if you have a bicycle, especially if it's a nice bicycle, spend a little bit of money and see about getting a decent lock. If you can't afford a lock because it's too expensive and you really need one, I will give you my email address at the end. Sometimes we have them available for students and staff, and sometimes we don't. But send me an email and I'll do the best I can to help you out. One other crime that I really want to make you aware of and just kind of pay attention to is fraud. Again, if some of you don't know what I mean by fraud, it basically means when someone lies to you to get your money or something else that belongs to you. Fraud is not tremendously common on campus, but it does happen. So I just want you to pay attention to some things that you may see on campus. So be very cautious of scams. And again, a scam is when someone is lying to you to get your property. Sometimes somebody might call you on your cell phone or send you a text message that asks for money or says that you need to give your bank information or your social security number. Anytime you get information like that on your phone or through email, I would recommend that you don't do that. or be very, very careful. If you don't know the person that's calling you or texting you or sending you an email, don't ever send them personal information. Sometimes you'll get a phone call that pretends to be from a police officer or from the Internal Revenue System or from the University of Utah about tuition, and they're asking that you give them money. Again, I understand that some of you are maybe not from Utah or not from the United States of America and are maybe not familiar with our laws or our customs, but a police officer will never call you on the telephone asking you for money. The University of Utah will never call you on the telephone telling you to give them money. If you don't know what to do, you can always call 911 and you can speak with a police officer, and he or she can help you understand whether this is a fraud or whether it's legitimate. So before you give anyone your money or your credit card number, anything like that, please think about it. Ask some questions. And again, if you're not sure what to do, you can always call the University of Utah Police Department. We are very happy to help you out. We don't want you to lose your money. Just be careful with your personal information. The last thing that I want to talk about is alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. So the laws regarding these, I know, vary from different states in the United States and from different countries in the world. Here in the state of Utah, the use of marijuana is illegal, meaning it's against the law to use marijuana anywhere at any time. So if that's something that you like to do, to use marijuana, I would ask that you do not do that here in the state of Utah. Especially do not do that on campus. Do not do that in your dorms. Do not do that in your apartments, because somebody will call and you may get a ticket. You may have to pay a fine or something if you get caught doing that. Tobacco, cigarette smoking, vaping, that is legal in the state of Utah, but you must be 21 years old to participate in that. So if you're 18 or 19 and like to smoke cigarettes or vape, I would encourage you to wait until you're 21 to do that. Alcohol is the same. Again, I understand that the alcohol ages are different in other countries, but here in the United States of America or the state of Utah, you must be 21 years old to drink alcohol. So if you like to drink alcohol, you like to drink beer, again, that's fine as long as you're safe to do it. You just must be 21 years old to do that. And then other drugs. Again, we could talk about drugs all day, but if it's a prescription medication, you must have a prescription from a doctor or physician to take the medication. If it's other drugs that are illegal, such as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, ecstasy, MDMA, etc., those substances are all illegal here in the state of Utah and at the University of Utah campus. So I would really encourage you regarding all of these things to be safe. Please, please, please be smart and be safe. If you go to a party and someone gives you something and you don't know what it is, don't take it, don't drink it, don't eat it. Please be safe. But I also want to tell you, if you're ever somewhere where you're unsafe, maybe you've drank too much alcohol or you've taken some kind of pill or other substance and you really feel like you're in danger, you can always call 911 and we'll come help you out. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to come arrest you and take you to jail. Your safety is more important to me than anything. So if you ever find yourself in a really bad situation where you're scared, you're nervous, or you're unsafe, please call 911 and let one of our officers come and help you out. We do have, you can go to our website and find out more information, but we do teach self-defense classes, meaning you learn to keep yourself safe, some fighting techniques. It's called RAD. These are classes for women only, but we also do have classes on campus for men and for everybody. If you're interested in a class, a self-defense class, again, I would encourage you to go to our website and try to sign up for one of these courses. This is my information. Again, my name is Jesse Buchanan. I'm a police officer at the University of Utah. I'm a pretty nice guy. I like to help anybody and everybody in any way I can. If you have a question for me, if you have a question about laws in the state of Utah or in the United States of America, I would encourage you to send me an email. I will be more than happy to answer any and every question you may have. I'd be more than happy to meet with you and shake your hand and walk you around campus if you ever wanted me to. So I appreciate the time and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm going to turn it back over to Danica. Again, though, I just want to stress that if you need anything from me at all, please let me know and I'd be glad to try to help you out. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Our next portion of the presentation will be presented by Cindy. She works in the ISSS office, and she's going to be talking to you a little bit about what you can expect on campus and in Salt Lake City as far as COVID regulations and expectations go. So Cindy, I will turn it over to you.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Like Danica said, my name is Cindy. I work in the ISSS office as an advisor, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about COVID-19 and what you can expect here on campus. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. Okay. And then, so you should be seeing my screen now. You should see a screen that says what to expect on and around campus. Okay. So this section will focus on information you may have already heard. Keep in mind the situation is fluid with COVID-19 and continues to evolve. We will be posting this information and this recording on our website, and you are encouraged to visit these links for resources and the latest updates. So the CDC, the Utah Department of Health, and the University of Utah, you may have heard guidance from these offices and most likely will continue to do so. So how do all of these operate and what does it mean for you? So the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, is the National Public Health Institute in the US. The CDC issues public health guidance for the country. And again, these are all hyperlinks. You can click on these and visit them at your leisure. The Utah Department of Health oversees public health in the state of Utah. It works with the CDC as well as local officials in Utah across different counties or localities. The COVID-19 transmission levels are ranked from low to high, with each one associated with different degrees of activities that are allowed. For example, the U's main campus is located in the county of Salt Lake and currently has a transmission level that is high. You can find other resources on their website, and here is their hotline as well and their website for additional information. Okay. The University of Utah also has a similar system with various services and activities allowed at each level. You can expect to hear updates throughout the semester. So together, these offices provide guidance and updates about COVID-19 at the campus, county, state, and national levels. I would strongly recommend that you take a look at this particular website here. It's coronavirus.utah.edu. It's the U's main page for all things COVID related. It's a great resource. It includes information about testing, vaccination, metrics, and all of the latest updates. Okay. So as we make our way to campus, students, faculty, and staff will all be required to wear face coverings. These should be worn over your nose and mouth and fit comfortably on your face. Students, faculty, and staff will also be expected to social distance or physically distance. What that means is that individuals are asked to stay 6 feet or 2 meters apart. Okay. One of the big questions many of you may be asking is what specific precautions will be taken on campus. So this can include things we've already discussed, like face coverings, but also frequent cleaning of high-touch areas like doorknobs, sanitizing stations, contactless pickup, virtual appointments, signage in and out of buildings and classrooms, as well as weekly testing, online training, and self-reporting forms. And we'll get to those in just a minute. Okay. As a student, I would direct you to this helpful checklist. This is a screenshot. Again, you can click on this hyperlink. It will bring you to the actual website. It's a good checklist in that it'll make sure you're aware of all the different steps and resources you should be using at this time. So you'll see some of the things mentioned on here. We've also discussed face coverings, physical distancing. But in addition, the first item here is a mandatory course. It's an online course for students. It's called Staying Healthy in a Changing Environment. Please check your email for more information on how to complete that. You'll also see that on this checklist is a self-reporting form here at the bottom in the red icon. This form is to report potential exposure to someone with COVID-19. It plays a vital role in contact tracing, and it's also being used on campus with HRE, Housing and Residential Education. So here's the course. Again, it's called Staying Healthy in a Changing Environment. Please check your email if you haven't already. You will be getting more information about the course there. So another question many of you might have is, if you have COVID-19 symptoms, what should you do? Please stay home. Please call the U of U's Health and Testing Hotline. The number here is in front of you, 801-587-0712. They can also provide information about testing, resources, and answer any questions you might have. The U will be offering symptomatic and asymptomatic testing in spring 2021. If you're living on campus or taking classes on campus, you'll receive an email in your UMail every Thursday to schedule testing for the following week. If you are taking online classes, you can also get tested. To schedule a testing appointment, you can visit this website here, healthcare.utah.coronavirus/reserve-test. Testing is free to students. And again, I would encourage you to click on these links and explore them when you have a bit of time. So your next question might be, where can students get tested? There are two locations on campus. The first one is in the Saltair room in the Student Union. For those of you that are new to campus, you can take a look at the campus map, the Student Union being here, President's Circle, and the Marriott Library. The second location where you can get tested is Officers Club in Fort Douglas. It's higher up on campus. You can see the tracks here and Officers Circle as well. Okay. What if you live on campus? What do you need to know? You'll be getting an email every Thursday. Check your email so that you can schedule a weekly testing for the following week. This will be a saliva-based test. It's not a nasal swab. And then you'll get the results in about 24 hours. I would strongly recommend that you visit the HRE website, particularly if you'll be living on campus. They have great resources and a very helpful FAQ as well. What about outside of campus? If you're visiting stores and businesses, you can expect to see similar requirements. This will be face coverings as well as sanitizing stations and reminders to social distance. One piece of advice, particularly for new students, is to carry a pen with you as you're going to the bank or specific businesses where you might be completing paperwork, such as the post office as well. Please call ahead to confirm operating hours and appointments. Many offices and buildings are operating on modified schedules, or they may require you to schedule an appointment before you go there. Also consider what services can be done virtually and which documents can be shared electronically. So what about restaurants and cafes? Some of them are open, but with many variations. Some restaurants may have delivery options, curbside pickup, or dining options. Call ahead to determine each restaurant's policy. Please wear a face covering when visiting any of these. And you can also use a number of food delivery apps so that you can order food from these local restaurants. If you will be using public transportation, such as the tracks or buses, face coverings are required. Likewise, riders are asked to physically distance and to not travel when feeling ill. Keep in mind, this is an evolving situation. For continued updates, please visit coronavirus.utah.edu. Like I mentioned before, it's a great resource. It's got a number of other related topics and questions. It's got a very helpful A to Z directory where you can find more information about anything like libraries, advising, academics, housing. It's just a great resource. It's a great place to start. Okay. Another question you might have, when will the vaccine be available? It will come, but medical experts are asking for patience. More info will be made available as it comes out. Please continue to take precautions in the meantime. Wear face covering, social distance, wash your hands frequently, get tested, and stay home if you're not feeling well. If you have specific questions or concerns, you're more than welcome and encouraged to call the Use COVID-19 hotline. You may have friends in different states or colleagues that you'd like to visit. At this time, travel is strongly discouraged. If you were to travel to another state, you may find that the restrictions are different than those in Utah. The reason being that, like Utah, each state has its own Department of Health and local agencies that determine guidance. Keep in mind that these restrictions can vary from state to state and across time as the situation evolves. If traveling, please visit the CDC's website. This is to keep yourself and others safe. So what if you and your family decide it's better for you to go home? You've come to the US, you've begun at the University of Utah, but you decide it's better for you to go home. We recognize that each student's situation is unique. For that reason, talk to your family about your situation and your concerns, and then come make an appointment with ISSS. An ISSS advisor can talk to you about immigration questions, travel concerns, CPT or OPT eligibility in regards to your situation. ISSS can also provide you with a list of resources and other campus offices that might be relevant or helpful. What if you don't feel well? What should you do? If you're sick, stay home. If you don't feel well, please call before visiting any medical facility. The numbers listed below include the Use COVID-19 hotline, which we've seen, as well as the Student Health Center's number and the state's COVID-19 hotline. Like Officer Buchanan mentioned, if you have an emergency, please call 911. What if you're anxious about this situation? It's a lot of information. There's a lot going on. We certainly recognize this is a stressful, unprecedented situation that challenges students in a number of ways. If you have specific questions or questions that were not addressed here, you are encouraged to visit and contact these resources. You're also always welcome to contact ISSS. We can share these resources with you or others as well. With the semester right around the corner, ISSS looks forward to welcoming you to the U and wishes you a very healthy and productive semester ahead. Danica, I will turn it back over to you.
Great, thank you, Cindy. So we don't have any questions coming in just yet. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them, but I would like to ask a question of each of you. So as Cindy mentioned, these are unprecedented times and it can be very stressful for people. And I think certainly right now with everything going on and everything that's been going on over the past year, people are very concerned about health and safety, particularly for international students. And so I was wondering if each of you had a message that you would like to share with new international students or international students in general about just anything that could maybe ease their mind or any message that you would like to give to them. I'll have you just take a minute to share that. And Officer Buchanan, can we start with you on that?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Danica. I like people to First of all, regarding police officers, I realized that much of what people know is what they see on television and see on movies, and a lot of that just is not true. I understand that, again, many of you come from different states and different countries, and I don't know how police officers or the policing system works in your home. But here in the state of Utah, particularly at the University of Utah, my experience has been that most all police officers are very kind. We're here to help you out. We're not here to try to get you in trouble or try to always, take you to jail. That's really not our goal. Sometimes that's part of my job. If people commit crimes, if people harm others, then yes, sometimes I arrest people, they go to jail. But really, the reason I became a police officer, and most every police officer that I know will tell you the same thing, is because we like to help people. So helping you means that if you have a question and you see my car on the side of the road, just come wave and talk to me, and I'd be glad to help you with directions or anything that you may need. Also, if you don't understand the law, if you don't understand something that might be dangerous or harmful, please just come ask. Again, this is what I'm paid for. This is what the University of Utah hired me to do, is to help. And I take that very seriously. And I'm not going to be angry with you or unkind, generally. So please don't be afraid to come and speak with me or any police officer, because that's what we're here for. And again, I understand that it can be confusing. Maybe you don't understand certain customs or the way things are. Just come ask. We're very open, we're very kind, and we're very friendly, and here to help you out. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Cindy, do you have a message that you might want to give from ISSS perspective on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big takeaway is going to echo a lot of what Officer Buchanan just said. You might be hearing mixed messages. You might be getting information from different sources. I have a lot of family overseas. Sometimes the things they tell me may or may not be true. I would say, like Officer Buchanan said, if you have a question, you're not sure, come talk to us. Please, we would rather you ask us 100 questions than you make assumptions or you go about something you're not sure. We welcome your questions. If we don't have the answer, we will reach out to other resources. We will do more research and we'll get back to you. We are excited to have you here. We want to welcome you, whether that's online or in person. Like Officer Buchanan said, we would love to see you in person. That might have to wait, or it might come with some restrictions right now. But we're excited to work with you, to welcome you to the U, to support you in your studies and in your endeavors. So please come talk to us. Please ask us questions. It's certainly scary, but we'd rather you ask the questions, and we welcome the conversations.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to you both for being with us today and sharing all of that information. For students who are watching, this will be posted on our website, as Cindy mentioned, by the end of this week, as well as all of our other orientation webinars that we've been doing over the past few weeks. So again, thank you to you both, and we wish everyone a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great day.